Hello, how's it going, people? YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So, there's a car in Haggerty's, the Legend cars. I'm not really. This one here, the Mercedes-Benz Barker Tourer. Not really interested in that or the D-Type. It was this one here. Because I do a lot of Group 3 racing, so this one is the McLaren F1 GTR. The BMW 95. So it's a Group 3 car, which will be quite good for my stock. It is 11.4. I've got 11 million at the moment. I've been actually grinding on my usual race at Le Mans, but I also did the group experience. It's the circuit experience. So I did the, where is it now? Dragon Trail. Hadn't done. I'd done a little bit of this one, the one with the Peugeot, and I think I did a time like the lap attack and I had a silver. But this one here, I hadn't even started it. But because I've been doing the Group 3 racing, which that is a Group 3 car, uh, I've been doing this week is it race C, I believe. So I actually had quite a good heads up, and did it pretty easy. A couple ones that I couldn't do the chicane. What are you doing, Sora? My cat always is playing at my pillow. So yeah, it was pretty easy because I'd just done it this week and did it a couple of attempts. The lap attack was a first time attempt, which was pretty good. And this one here was actually kind of easy as well. So that's gave me like maybe from doing what was the other one I did? I can't think now. Was it just that I did? I think I got a million from the Group 3 one, and I think I got about 700,000 or something like that. But anyway, I'm sure I did something else. I can't really think. Anyway, we're going to do the race. So I'm going to do my usual. As I say, in this game, I think there's two ways of making money. It's either Spa or this one. This one you actually make the most money because you get like it's a half-hour race. If you get it timed right and you do it just within the half hour, you'll get a little bit more than the Spa one. So it's this one here. I've probably the last few videos I've done in Gran Turismo has probably been covering this one. So the car I've got is the Silvia Spec R Aero S15 touring car. This is actually probably one of the kind of OP cars in Group 4 anyway. Just when it's kind of like, I've got no, I think I've got the Aero up. I usually put the anti-roll bars up a little bit, but it's basically there's no detuning and it's right on the 699, I think. I'm trying to think what I did to get it up. It's got the medium kit as well, the medium turbocharger. But I can't think if there's anything I did to tweak it down. I did something because I can remember putting the output adjustment up a little bit. Maybe it was the aero I put up. Maybe that's what it was. But anyway, this is a pretty good car for this. So what I usually do is put it into almost 6 straight off the bat. You can go into 4, but you can actually go in 6 fuel setting. It's quite loud in my earphones. So here we go. Probably not get the Ferrari here. I'll just undercut. There we go. So when in fuel map 6, you can save fuel by putting it into manual gears, but I usually go automatic gears. I might just put the volume down a little bit. The actual output volume of the game's kind of loud in my ear. But I need to get to a part where I'm by these cars maybe. that's better. Just that the volume was actually quite loud. So we're P16 at the moment. We're not going to get these cars before this corner, so let's just take the corner. We can outbrake some of these cars. Don't think I'll get a penalty there. Let's go the outside. It's a bit close. So even in Fuel Map 6, this car's actually really quite fast. I think it's faster than the straight. We're up to P9 already. There we go. P8. I think after the first lap we probably can get up to maybe P4, maybe P5, P4. And we're saving fuel. We can go quite long in the fuel stint, which is pretty good. Gives us options. Depends what the weather's going to do. So we're up to P7. If you go in fuel, you can go 4. 4 I think is pretty close. It's like, you know, your kind of marginal fuel to the end. But 6 gets you a little bit more of a kind of gap, if you know what I mean. So I've done this race quite a few times. As I say, this is my go-to race for making money. There are other ways of making money in this game, but there's a lot of them. I don't think it's... Like, you do 10 laps on a certain track, which will be probably 20 minutes maybe worth of work. This is 30 minutes, but you do get like 825,000. So it's... I'm going to say it's the only way of making money, but the Spa race, I think I've covered this before, it's quite a long race. It can be quite difficult. You can spin out quite a lot and the weather changes. Sometimes you get really heavy rain and it can catch out, because Spa is quite a long track. Same as this track really. If you don't make the right sort of tyre choice, pit stop, you can end up really having a really tough time on slick tyres on a wet track. This one's the same, you've just got to anticipate the weather. So we're nearly at the end of the first lap and we're P6, which is not bad. Fuel mix 4, we probably would have got closer, with the hash of that chicane. We probably would have got closer to P5, P4. But if we go fuel mix 6, we can actually gain time on the leaders. But we're saving a ton of fuel. It just means that when it does rain, you can kind of make a better choice. So yeah, we're getting the funds for this Group 3 car, the McLaren. I think I got the long tail version, which I'm trying to think if that's a Group 3. I think it is a Group 3. This is a shorter tail version. As I do I quite like Group 3 racing. It's quite competitive, and it's a car that, you know, it's just nice to have really in stock. It's going to wipe us out though. Probably left with, we'll probably be able to afford the tyres and stuff, maybe the power restrictor and the ballast, which is always handy to have in those cars. I'll get wide there. I'll just slow down in the part here and take the time penalty before it adds it on. It's only going to be 0.5, but so we're only really 9 seconds behind the, well, 10 seconds almost. There's 10 seconds now behind the leaders, but we're not going to really lose anything, I don't think. This is a really good Group 4 car. It's almost got the same performance as a detuned Group 3 down to 700 pp. Because I usually do the Porsche on this track, because the Porsche's actually got quite good fuel economy. Right, catching up. Yeah, so I mean, even in fuel map 6 we're not losing a lot, and the Porsche tends to lose a little bit of time, and the fuel map at 4 up to 5 and 6 it loses a little bit of time. So this is in 6 and it's actually we're gaining on the leader, so we're now into the second lap, you're almost about to get into the third lap, and we're starting into the weather window. Maybe cut that a little bit. Let's get the weather up actually. Maybe wait till I get by this corner. Oh my goodness. That was almost hit the wall there. I've really cut that corner a bit too much. Right, weather. I must have went by it. Oh, there it is there. That's starting to come in now. There's like a bit of rain. It's light rain at the moment. It's not really too heavy. So we'll make a decision later on into the Porsche cars. So I actually played my golf the other day. Kind of off topic, we're playing Gran Turismo, but I was playing TGC Tours. I had a really good, solid first round. I was 7 under. And then the second round we absolutely... We did 14 under. Absolutely fantastic round. Played Friday. I played my Society, which is over the Riviera Country Club, which is a really difficult course. It's a course that I've kind of struggled a little bit. I might play it later tonight, but I really struggled. I was at +4, I think, +3 first round, and I was either similar. I was either +4 the first round, +3 the second, or +3, +4, whatever. And I just played terrible. And I decided not to play TGC Tours because my tempo was off and I just didn't really have a lot of confidence in playing well. So I played it on Saturday, but I played okay. I mean, I think I shot 4 under, 3 under, I believe. Basically, made the cut easily. I had a chance of really getting some promotion picks, but unfortunately just 2 lacklustre rounds and I just didn't really move up the table much. I think I was tied 61st. Played okay though. Kind of disappointing round, just couldn't get anything really going. But it's better last week. We missed the cut and we got because we had 2 promotion ticks, we actually get a double demotion strike, which wiped out our 2 ticks. So that was a golf. So I still have 2 rounds to play in my Society. Whether I get it done tonight, I don't know. I'll wait and see. As I say, that course is actually quite... I want to play well in that course though. It's just a really tough course, off the tee and the greens as well, pin locations and stuff. So we're up to P6 still. We're about to take P5. So we're only 13 seconds behind the leader. We're now into the kind of pit window for a lot of these cars in this lap. Will come in to the pits. I think there's another couple of cars that wait to the next lap. We've got plenty of fuel. It's just not raining yet. In fact, there's only that little bit of rain's moved out of the way. Not a bit of rain coming, but it's it's not that much. We've got 1.7 laps of fuel, so we can go another lap. We'll probably come in to the next lap and pit. By that time, hopefully the weather's maybe settled down. So in that corner, you can actually take that corner a little bit faster, but you've got to be careful. We're catching up now to P4. Which is the... oh, car is that, the orange one? It's the... oh, is that the... is it the Lexus? The RCF? So we probably actually could keep these tyres on. I think they've been really, if it's a dry race, yeah, we can keep these tyres on, but at the end of the race they're actually quite like chewing gum, so it probably makes sense just to make the pit stop. So there they go, they're in the pits, the leader's in, so we can stay out, we can go another lap. I don't think we could do 2 laps. 1.4 fuel, 1.3 now. We'll start to rain. We'll look at the weather radar on the straight. And we'll see what it's going to be doing. I think most of them are in. Haywood, I think if I remember, Haywood's in the Huracan, the Group 4. He usually stays out. Does he go in? Oh, I'm trying to think. There's one car that does. I'm trying to think. Some of the other cars do, I think, 2 pit stops. Or there's cars that pit near the last lap. But I think Haywood stays out longer. Does he come in this lap? I can't remember. So let's check the weather. It's pretty. We're actually starting to get up by the first bar, so we need to be careful. Like warm tyres and starting to lose grip. Or getting a kind of greasy surface. It's going to be tricky. We need to be careful. So I'm glad you get some yellow patches. I think we're going to split some blue patches coming up, the darker blue, which is a little bit heavier. Just get into it now. Just make a little bit early here. You can actually see we're just going straight on. So we'll just take our penalty, come out. We'll not accelerate too much. You actually want to keep the same time gap. Whoa. Yep, I was actually looking at the time gap I had. Yeah, we're actually into like an intermediate tyre now. Oh, this is, yep. Yeah, we need to be careful now. Right. You could actually go into traction control here. You can't really accelerate full, you've got to be like off the throttle slightly. We've got enough of a time gap that we really don't need to bother. This is a yellow, we're into a yellow patch of rain now. Just going to get aquaplaning it. Oh my goodness, it's a nice right. Oof. We're almost at a standstill. Right, so tyre, we could either go intermediate. The intermediate is probably going to be the better tyre, even though it's like a wet race now. The intermediate is going to come good after. it's absolutely impossible to get any power. There's a big black spot there, big gap in the clouds. Oh, this is really dicey. We're just on the verge of aquaplaning here. When you get the little blue part, there we go, that's aquaplane. So, yeah, I mean, I'm turning the stick. I'm turning the steering wheel, and it's not doing anything. So we're not really losing time. As you can see there, we're 37, I think we're 41 seconds, so we're behind it. I mean, they're struggling as well. Oh, jeez. Well, I went too fast in this corner. Yeah, that was a mistake. So we just need to go easy to the pits. But I think the intermediate is going to be the tyre. Maybe not the best tyre, but I think that the wets are going to... Although in saying that, we've only got 12 minutes left in the race, so by the time we pit, get back out, we're not going to have that many laps left. We're in this big kind of weird gap here, but it's not raining. It's still wet. But it's gonna, you can see there's a big gap, but it's gonna start raining the other side. Depends what it does. Yeah, we're starting to lose a little bit of time to the guys at the back, but I'm trying to be as cautious as possible because we can end up spinning out. So depending on what's on the other side of this, I can see some more blue. It might actually be a wet weather tyre, to be honest. I think the wet weather's going to be, because there's not going to be that much damage towards the end of the race if it dries up. Yeah, a couple of yellow patches as well. I think we go full wets. And I've lost a little bit of time. But to be honest, you can go, when you go fast, you're really on the verge of losing it. Yeah, wet weather. Definitely a wet weather tyre. Just really get into this pit really cautious. Right, wet weathers. And then we'll fill up the fuel. I'd imagine Haywood's going to come in. The other guys have pitted, but they're going to probably be on... I imagine they'd still be in slicks, because when they come in it was still a dry race, although if their engineers looked at the weather radar they could probably preempt that it was going to be a wet weather race. So here we go. So slick tyres are going on like visually, but they're actual wet weather. It's one of the little things that haven't changed, and if I put wets on when I come back in and I'm on wets and changing to slicks, it'll take wet weather tyres off and put wet weather tyres back on. It's just a visual thing. Right, yep, you can see that big yellow patch has just left us. So the track is absolutely like a swimming pool. So I think everybody's going to come in. Did Lopez come in there? Unless Lopez has went to wet tyres, perhaps. Yeah, I'm really cautious here. We could probably turn the fuel up if we really wanted. Probably should really just burn fuel, even though sometimes it's actually better to be a slightly lower power setting when it's wet. I don't know if that comes across graphically. It glitches in my end when I play the game there, and it's only this track it does it. It flashes like black for a very brief, not even a second, probably less than that. Let's put the power down. So I really should have started braking. Yeah, just take the... That was bad. So we're 16 seconds. I think we're slowed enough. So it's a fairly wet race. I think it's going to be wet to the finish line. It usually dries up. This one looks like it's going to be really wet all the way. Really cautious into this corner. You sometimes feel that you're too slow, but once you slide it, yeah, it's half a point. Just going to be so careful. We've actually gained it a little bit of time, so yeah, you can see I'm breaking the clouds now, coming in at the bottom corner there, cutting through. So it's probably it's going to dry up, but we're not going to have that many laps left. We've got 2 laps to do. Oh, just ran out of braking there. I'm trying to think, to get to the line, probably will be 2 laps. Do you know what, I'm actually going to go back to 6. Although in saying that, we've got 3.6 fuel. Yeah, let's just go back to 1 then. I think we've got enough. This car can go through fuel a little bit. I'll run a bit wide there. You've got to be careful when you're in the aquaplane stage. You can't really go too fast. Keep in there. So clouds are starting to disappear. You can actually tell by looking at the sky, the weather. You see it gets gradually dull. The weather in this game is actually pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, you can see there we're starting to come out of the clouds. So 20 seconds of a gap. Kind of driving within myself, I'm not really pushing it too much. Kind of feels as if I'm driving so slow. Okay, that's the rain. That's the rain kind of stopped. Try and fuel. I think we'll be okay in fuel setting 1. Jeez. This is one of the wettest races I've had, because I've been grinding this game on this track this morning to try and get this McLaren F1 car. Or the Group 3 one. A little bit too fast in there, taking my medicine. So I have been grinding it quite a bit, but this is like the wettest race I've had for a long time. And this is on hard AI as well. Oh, somebody's coming in with wet, so they're changing onto dries. So that's a bold manoeuvre. Now at this rate, I don't think we're going to have another lap. In fact, we're not going to have another lap because I've got 29 seconds of a gap to Lopez. What I can do is I can dictate when we end the race, and I'll probably end it in this lap. So yeah, 4 minutes left. Wow, didn't really take the Really didn't take the braking there at all. So if these guys are going on to dry, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a dry line starting to form, but as you can see there, the tyre indicator still indicates that it's like halfway up through that it's in the middle, which is still a bit dicey for the tyres. We're probably in the intermediate phase of the tyre, but intermediate tyres would be the tyre to choose. You probably could get away with slicks, but you'd have to be very, very careful. So yeah, still got 28 seconds. I think we'll probably have a big gap back to like Yamanaka, because I think he pitted. I think everybody pitted except for Lopez. Lopez must be on a wet weather tyre maybe. A little bit deep there. Not really been racing. I wouldn't say we've been pretty in terms of lines and stuff. I think we're a little bit scrappy, but we're doing enough to get this car. So I actually did my marathon earlier. I get it was a bronze ticket I got, and I only got 5,000 coins. It was actually pretty poor. Yeah, we get a comfortable gap now. 2 minutes left on the clock. I would probably say I'm actually just going to ease off the throttle. I'm going to just run the time down. So after this race, we're going to have enough money to get this McLaren F1 G. I think it's a BMW. What year was it? But it's BMW F1 GTR. Right, we're at 1 minute 27. Are we going to have enough time? We've got 35 seconds of a lead. Still got 1 minute 12. We're near the end of the lap. I'm really backing off at big time here. I'm just going to I'm actually coming off the throttle completely. Yeah, we should have enough time because there's the guys there. Who's that behind me? I don't know if there's anybody behind me actually. There is a car there, but surely that's not... Is that Lopez? It looks a lot closer. There's a car coming now. Oh, that's him. Oh, this is marginal. I need to be careful here. Yep, that's Lopez just behind us. Did he get into the pits? Is he in the pits? He's in the pits. He had intermediates on, so that's why he didn't pit. He had intermediates. I mean, it's a bit silly that he pits. He probably thinks that we're going to have another lap. Oh, I nearly messed that up. So an easy win in this car. As I say, for a Group 4 car, it's really OP in this track. And that's going to be another win. What? Oh, you are kidding. Oh, no way. So Lopez wins. He comes into the pits. That seems a bit harsh, does it not? You are kidding me. How? I might get a replay of that. Oh, we only get 495,000. I think we've got enough to buy the car though, because I think it's 11.4 million. Ah, you are kidding me. I want to see that replay actually. I'm going to save that. But I'm going to, I just want to see the end. Right, so we're coasting at this point. So there's Lopez, he's in the BMW. So he's gunning it, man. He's like, but at this point, we would be doing another lap. And if I'd done another lap, I would have won the race easy. So he's going to come into the pits. I mean, he must have been low on fuel, maybe. Can we actually see? What do we see if we can? Can we see his fuel? Oh, right. Can we see his fuel? Oh, we can. Yeah, he's got. What's he got in fuel terms? Can we see? Let's go back a couple of. Oh, no, we can't. We can only see his track map. But you look there, his gauge he's got. He must have less than a lap, maybe. So there's us coasting like an absolute idiot, thinking we've got this race easy. Here's Lopez coming, pedal to the metal. So there he goes. He comes into the pits now. Oh. So we are. So we're coming into that chicane. He's there. Right, he's into the pit phase. We're just about to cross the line now. Hold on. Oh, we can't see him, can we? So we can't see Lopez because the car kind of goes like a ghost. So at this point, he must be like by us. Oh, that's absolutely criminal. Oh, there it is there. Look. Oh, right. I've got it. So I know what happens. Basically, Lopez crosses the finish line before we do. We let the timer run. Oh, that's what happens. Because look, if you watch, see, he's obviously coming into the pit complex. We can't see him because there he is. There, he's entered the kind of ghost phase, if you know what I mean. So if you watch, so I'm coming up to the finish line here. I mean, maybe if we even went just a little bit faster. So he must be running just beside us, just behind us a little bit. And if you look here, it flips before we get to the line. You'll see Lopez is P2 at the moment. And then he must just be alongside us. And if you watch, Lopez is going to flip. I mean, look how close we are to the... Oh, no way. There. Oh, man, that is so criminal. So we're basically here. And then Lopez is here. So Lopez has actually just crossed the finish line. It's a pity you can't see the car here, like in the pits. It obviously ghosts. Oh, that's so bad. Look, that's how short we were. That was how short we were to victory. Oh, I think I'll take a picture of that because it's going to be quite funny. So yeah, Lopez crossed the line. Because he crossed the line before the timer, had elapsed, he'd initiated another lap, and because we didn't cross the line, because we were, because we wanted to end the race, he's basically on the lead lap, and we're not. Oh dear. Okay, that's going to be probably the thumbnail for the video. I don't know. I might change it. Wow. Oh dear. Yep. That's how close we are to winning. We could just have done. We could just have done it. We had enough fuel. It's actually quite a nice car. So I'll probably while I'm here, I'll just talk about the the colour scheme I've got. This is like I think I changed it to the Nissan. Is it the Bayside blue colour? So I've got a tartan bonnet. I've always had this darker tartan. There's a sort of reddish kind of more traditional tartan, and I've got the Highland Spring obviously because we're like a Scotland racing team. DM Motorsports. That's actually the Danger Mouse logo, but it's Darren McCall Motorsport, and I thought I had it down the side. I've got it here at the front. DJI. Obviously, I've actually got some DJI products. All the kind of livery is stuff that I like, or it's like some kind of association that I have. Raceworks is I think it's an Edinburgh-based tuning team. Monster Energy, I like my Monster. Highland Springs, obviously Scottish. There's a little nod to the Pink Pig, and I've got my YouTube channel here, Darren McCall 74. These are my brother works for Royal Mail, and the crown emblem for Royal Mail isn't there, but this is a Rolex emblem because my brother's actually got a Rolex because he's flash. NHS because my mum worked for the NHS back in the day, and that's GKN. Oh, Green Nettlefold. Green. I used to have this name. Oh, I can't think of it. But basically, my dad worked at the Stamp Works, and they were owned by that company. It's Nettlefold. Is it Green? I think Green's the first one. Coffee. I like coffee. I think it's a Scottish company as well. And there's my YouTube channel at the back as well. So that's the car, and I've also got Monster on the back plates and a Scottish flag in the top. So it's a pretty nice looking car. I should just take a little picture of that. I'll maybe get a kind of this kind of shot. It's quite good. Get a nice angle on it. Maybe there. Yep. So anyway, that's going to do it. I'll go and buy the car. Oh, I can't believe we never won that race. A good job we actually had enough second place to get it. Save that. That could be the thumbnail there, actually. I quite like that one. Right, let's go and buy this car. Exit. So as I say, it's a Group 3 car, and I quite like the Group 3 racing. It's pretty good. So, and it actually went limited numbers, so it's probably going to go out of stock maybe the end of tonight, maybe tomorrow. Oh, how funny would it be if it actually went out of stock right now? There it is there. At 1.4 million, we've just got enough to buy it. Let's buy it. Big chunk of money gone. But it's quite a nice looking car. Looks good. I'll maybe get another paint scheme for it. I might do my own DM Motorsport paint scheme on it as well. But there we go. Another car to the collection. Let's jump in it. Yeah, it's pretty good looking. It's always been a nice car, the McLaren F1. You've actually got the road version as well. But that's like, I'm trying to think how much that is. It's quite an expensive car. I think it's actually more than like 11, 12 million. There she is. Beautiful. Beautiful! But we do have the... Is there a long tail version? Is that Germany? So that's United Kingdom. Because it is the McLaren F1, but I think it's got a BMW engine. I think if you go to Germany... Germany, I think, has the long tail. Yep, there it is there. So that's obviously... It must be BMW. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It should have really been a win, but I think it's actually quite a funny video that we lost in the line because we decided to run out the clock and he went into the pits. If he'd went into the pits, well, if he'd went into the pits, we would have had to have done another lap. I mean, to be honest, just do the other lap and that's it. But anyway, you learn by your mistakes. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.